What's going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today is January the 14th. I want to give you a quick pre-market update, go over some of the hot movers and what big money is doing today. Before we get into any of that, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So starting off, as far as data points, we have PPI in roughly 45 minutes. Aside from that, a couple of Fed speakers, but it is going to come down to CPI tomorrow. So power hour, you might see some volatility, but PPI forecast right now is 0.3. So even if that comes in better than anticipated, you could see a nice run essentially in the market. So something to kind of keep in mind. So that's coming out in roughly 40 something minutes. Dow is up 0.02, S&P 0.26, NASDAQ is up 0.35. It was doing better roughly like 2 hours ago during the pre-market. It is starting to pull back a little bit, so something to like I said, just monitor. But it looks as though people's appetite for risk is on the table. So this is another broken day for the fear and greed index. It did, although, move from the extreme fear to the fear category today, this morning. So again, that's kind of a good thing, but still in theory, people's appetite for risk isn't necessarily on the table based on this right here. But what I'm going to talk on is kind of opposite to that. Starting off with SoFi, it is up 1.14%. No news, no SEC filings associated to them. So it is just piggybacking off of its technicals, and just, I think a lot of people are looking at what has happened to SoFi over the last 2 weeks and see it maybe as a good value play possibly. When I did my video yesterday, there's a unique circumstance that is happening based on the technicals that does kind of insinuate that there is going to be an extreme move in one direction, either up or down. So it is going to pop or kind of break down to, let's say, the 13s once again. So we'll just have to kind of watch that. PPI might be that point that does kind of cause that movement. So just anticipate a lot of volatility with SoFi today, but 11.91% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 127 million shares overall are being shorted. Does indicate yesterday's shorts returned to 10.48 million shares, and that is because of this. So NASDAQ did disclose a new amount of shares being shorted as of December the 30th. So Vortex takes that information, runs with it, and so forth. So again, that's kind of the new updated short interest. 14.22 is where we're at right now pre-market. So it is trading between this S1 and this S2. So 14.11 is going to be a strong support. Flip side, 14.73 is going to be the next strong target / resistance. So if it does pop higher, then just anticipate this 14.73 to be maybe touched / broken. Flip side, 13.11 is going to be the next strong support. So I don't see it really touching that, even if it does get dragged down. Moving on, ticker STAF. So this is up a significant amount because it looks like Atlas is buying them out. Equates to roughly 25 million for the transaction. So given before this pop, it was up or sitting at 3.48 million. So essentially that does mean a very significant upside. So you might see a lot of volatility with it today and a lot of big money rushing in, because I think even the pre-market price is really pricing in that the deal won't go through, because I think there is still a significantly higher gap up that could happen. It's not heavily shorted, so that's not going to play a part. So you're not going to see a short squeeze. 0.82% of the free float. So that's very, very low actually. But aside from that, with that $3.68 trading between this R1 and the pivot, so 307 will be a strong support. Kept gravitating towards that during the after hours, so that is going to be a strong support. Flip side, 483, and then 592 is going to be the next strong target / resistance points. So kind of just watch for that. Ticker APLD is up 20% because of this. So they announced early this morning a partnership, and so that's with Macquarie Asset Management for funds or for funding of up to $5 billion to drive HPC growth. So again, that's what is driving that higher. It is kind of heavily shorted, so 33.65% of the free float is being shorted. So interestingly enough, so a lot of the market has crapped on SCMI, and funny enough though, that short interest is only like 15%. So a company potentially committing fraud and hiding assets allegedly, of course, has a lower short interest than this. I find that kind of funny, but that's the market, right? With it right now at $9.65, though, it is trading between these 2 points. So this R1 and the pivot. So 10.23 is going to be that next strong target / resistance, and then 8.77 is going to be the next strong support. So let me know your viewpoint on that in the comments below, which one it'll touch. In my opinion, I think it will gain enough momentum and touch this R1 and potentially break above that, but sometimes my crystal ball is wrong. Ticker LAES is definitely losing a lot of steam, but at the same time, you are seeing a abnormal amount of volume. So there might be a possible reversal. Anticipate a lot of volatility today. Typically, a lot of other kind of spec plays that went through the same motion did hit the low of roughly on December the 19th. So that was sitting at roughly 201. So essentially, you could see maybe a retrace of that and really push higher from there, as what's happening with a lot of them right now. But still, I think in general there might be a reversal only because of the optimism in the broader market as of today, and big money seems to be wanting a lot of these spec plays to really move higher. This stock doesn't have any news, nothing like that today to justify anything, so it is just very, very speculative. Very heavily shorted, mind you, so 96.42% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 16.04 million shares. So most likely that is one of the biggest attributing causes why this stock is lagging, just because of this. So this could be a potential squeeze play if the company, let's say, strategically puts out something today. Then you could see, and it has to be of substance, not just fluff news, it has to be something substantial. Then yeah, you could see a rush of buyers, prompting shorts to get kind of pinched out. Right now with that $3.13, it is trading between this S2 or S1 and this S2. So 230 is going to be that next strong support, and like I said, that's what could it might bounce off of. That's what would copy the other spec plays, but 377 and then 616 is going to be the next strong target / resistance points. And last but not least, Mara. So as far as right now, no actual news to justify the 2.91% or 2.9% green this morning, aside from Bitcoin recovering. So I think it's kind of being more aligned with that. Yesterday was a rough day for it. It went down 3.75%. It is heavily shorted, and not only that, shorts have been starting to get in on this quite a lot. So November short interest was 20%, and now it's at 26.61. 83.83 million shares overall are being shorted. If you're looking at trading it with a 17 and change, it is trading between this pivot and this S1. So 16.13 is going to be the next strong support. Flip side, $20.49 is going to be the next strong target / resistance. Even with PPI, fears about CPI coming out tomorrow, I don't see either of these being touched. So it is just going to be trading within limbo here. So for those of you that like options, that might be a kind of a dream come true. So let me know your thoughts on these stocks. Is there any other stocks that's floating your boat? Don't forget to pop over to my Patreon, where I give buy signals on stocks, options, and crypto. Many of them have been absolute bangers, so pop over there and take a look. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.